So this is the carbon cycle. Now in the carbon cycle, everything that grows on our planet has carbon in it. Okay, so let's have a happy little tree here. And trees take in CO2. All right, they exhale oxygen. So where does the C go? Well, the carbon stays in the tree. And it stays in the tree for as long as the tree's alive. It's just part of its life cycle. It's part of making the tree in its whole treeness, and what it is carbon. But say this tree dies, and when it dies, it goes back down and falls into the soil, and we'll give it little X's for eyes because it's dead. And the carbon now goes back down into the soil. Okay, most of the carbon goes down into the soil. A little bit of the carbon goes up in the air, but most of it goes back down into the soil. Okay? And it stays down in the soil, and other insects and other things that live in the soil use it. But a lot of this carbon is taken up by things that are in the plants that are new little plants that are growing. This is the carbon cycle. We have carbon in the air. It moves through plants. It goes into the ground as plants die, and then it ends up back in the air. So this is the short-term carbon cycle. Now we also have a long-term carbon cycle. So if we look deep down under the ground and look and see what's happening, we have these ancient trees and ancient forests. And when these forests evolved, they first began to stand upright, and they developed something called lignin, and that's what makes trees stand upright. But lignin could not be decayed. Nothing had evolved to decay it. So these ancient trees basically just piled up, and pressure from above turned all of these into coal. And this coal, this carbon, is now sequestered. It's kept out of the carbon loop. Okay? But here's the problem. For the last 150 years, we've been digging up this sequestered coal, and we've been taking it and burning it and putting it back up into the environment. So now what we're doing is we're adding CO2 that has long been sequestered and held out of the carbon cycle. We're putting it back into the carbon cycle. Okay, so that's short-term carbon cycle, long-term carbon cycle. Okay, see the difference?